Women are not small men.
That's true.
Yeah.
But somewhere along the way, the wellness industry took that fact and turned it into a $1 trillion marketing strategy. We've gone from women deserve more research to women need an entirely different set of fat loss rules. And those rules conveniently come with a price tag. The problem? A lot of it isn't nearly as scientific as they claim. For over a decade, I've studied, researched, and worked in fat loss and women's health. And the area where legitimate science has been taken, stretched, and turned into a marketing machine the most is
your cortisol levels.
In the last 5 years, we have seen an explosion of self-titled cortisol coaches and hormone experts targeted almost exclusively at women. Now, cortisol is your stress hormone. And what is true is that stress genuinely does affect eating behavior. When you're stressed, you're more likely to order takeout. You're less likely to cook. Your sleep suffers. Your motivation to exercise drops. These are real effects and they can absolutely make fat loss harder. But cortisol does not directly cause fat gain. The research is consistent on this. However, once you convince someone that their cortisol is broken, you can sell them a supplement, a detox protocol, or an adaptogen powder. None of which are addressing what actually matters, which is the habits that stress is disrupting. Sometimes the wellness industry doesn't even need a science. All it needs is a pink label, and this is known as the pink tax. It's a well-documented pattern where products marketed to women are priced significantly higher than the equivalent marketed to men. And I am seeing this more and more in the nutrition space. Protein powders and creatine specifically designed for women at a higher price point. And while both can be genuinely useful supplements for fat loss, they do not need to be women specific. The ingredient that matters in a protein powder is the protein, and the ingredient that matters in creatine is creatine. Neither of those need a woman's formula. Now, there are cases where women's specific formulations are necessary, like a prenatal or a woman's multivitamin with iron. Those differences are rooted in real biology. But when the only thing that has changed is the color on the label and the price tag, I want you to be clued in on that. Now, you've probably been told that processed food is the reason you can't lose weight. And there is some truth in that. Research shows that even when calories and protein are matched, people consistently eat more from ultra-processed foods than whole food ones. But that has been taken way too far. Now you have supermarket influencers telling you that anything in a packet is poison. And then Nara Smith on the other side, making her own homemade lozenges and rolling out her pasta from scratch. But trying to eat healthy is hard. Trying to eat healthy for fat loss is even harder. What we don't need to do is make it even harder again by convincing ourselves that anything from a packet is evil. Yes, we want to eat less biscuits, cakes, ultra-processed foods for the most part, but reaching for a protein bar when you're stuck, throwing a jarred pasta sauce over your vegetables on a Wednesday night, and not making your own bread from scratch, none of that is the issue. Sometimes convenience isn't just okay, it's the better choice. Because if it keeps you consistent, and consistency is what helps you lose weight, then that jarred sauce just earned in its place in your fat loss plan and your health. Do not feel guilty for not eating 100% whole foods, 100% made from scratch 100% of the time. That is not what fat loss requires, and it's not what health requires either. And anyone trying to convince you otherwise is trying to make your life harder for no good reason. After 30, your metabolism slows is one of the most common things I hear from women. And the sad thing about this is women then start to feel like their body is working against them. But the research shows that from your early 20s right through to around 60, the total number of calories your body burns each day stays remarkably stable. It doesn't crash at 30, it doesn't fall off a cliff at 40, and it does not dramatically collapse at menopause. What does change is muscle mass. From your 30s onwards, we lose about 3 to 8% of muscle per decade if we're not actively working to preserve it. And because muscle burns calories at rest, that gradual loss quietly shifts how your body looks, feels, and functions, even when your actual metabolic rate hasn't dramatically changed. So it's not your age, it's not menopause. It's muscle loss. And that is why with my clients, we do not focus on weight alone. We focus on body fat and muscle mass, which brings me to the sponsor of today's video, Hume Health. I use their body pod analyzer to track muscle mass changes and fat mass, instead of looking at just weight alone. Because as I just explained, the scales on its own doesn't tell you what's happening within your body. What I particularly love about this is that it has handles, so it measures from both the top and bottom of your body, and it gives you a visual breakdown through a humanoid diagram, showing muscle and fat distribution across your arms, legs, and core. And this is really valuable because as women in particular, we all carry weight differently in different places. If you step on a regular scales and see the number going down, it can look like progress, but that drop could be coming from muscle loss, which is not good for your health. And that's where the progress graphs come in. They let you track muscle mass and body fat changes over time, so you know your weight loss is actually coming from fat, not muscle. It confirms that you're maintaining or building muscle and lets you adjust your routine if not, for a clearer picture than weight alone. Now, the gold standard for measuring your body fat is a DEXA scan. These are excellent, but they use radiation, so ideally you don't want to be doing this more than once every 1 to 2 years. The Hume Body Pod is something that you can use at home, and it syncs with Apple and Fitbit. I've linked it in the description box below, along with my discount code, which is valid for 7 days, and it stacks on top of Hume's sale, so you can save up to 50%. So we've just talked about muscle, and that naturally brings us to protein, because protein with resistance training is what helps you build and preserve that muscle. And look, protein is hugely important, with fat loss goals in particular. Typically, I say women should aim for around 1.6 grams per kg per day when you're trying to lose fat. But here's where it has been taken too far. Whey protein is a byproduct of cheese manufacturing. It's cheap to produce. And at some point, the food industry realized they could add it to existing products, slap a high protein label on the front, and charge significantly more. Protein cereals, protein ice cream, protein chocolate bars. And now many of these protein supplements are being marketed specifically at menopausal women, as though they're going to solve your hot flushes. But the research does not support that. With small tweaks, most menopausal women, and women in general, can meet their protein needs without needing all of these protein-enriched additional products. And you will also get more benefits if you meet your protein needs through things like Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, lentils, chickpeas, edamame. These come with protein, but also things like calcium and other important nutrients. And when it comes to retaining muscle mass, the primary driver is always going to be resistance training and using that muscle. And we can't leave protein overshadow that. If you're not exercising and using that muscle, a protein shake on top of an unchanged routine is not going to help. Remember, protein and resistance training. That's what equals maintaining your muscle and muscle growth. Last, I want to touch on intermittent fasting, because a lot of the research on this was done on men and postmenopausal women. Then it got sold to every woman, regardless of age, hormonal status, or health history. So what I first say to my female clients who are trying to lose weight, when you wake up in the morning, if you're not hungry, that's fine. You don't have to eat as soon as you get out of the bed. I often get up at 5 or 6 a.m. and I don't have my breakfast till 7 or 8. However, usually within the first 1 to 2 hours of waking, you should be hungry and you should want to eat. If not, as your dietitian, I am wondering what is going on. Maybe you're having a very late dinner or snacking late at night, which isn't really ideal. Ideally, we want to be front loading our day with food, not consuming all of our calories into the evening. Now, where it gets complicated is women who wake up early and fast, and then they go on to do intense exercise fasted. This can wreak havoc on your hormones because your cortisol is highest in the morning. That's fine, I'm not worried about that. But paired with intense exercise, you're pushing it up even further and not giving it a chance to come down. And that is when we start to see missing periods, hair loss, fatigue, and mood disruption. And some people, just depending on your life stage, are going to be more sensitive to this than others. But a 12-hour overnight fast, that's generally fine for most people, and people will feel a lot better from it. But the extreme version, the tiny eating windows, the fasted training, the restricted calories on top, which was sold as universally beneficial for both men and women, it isn't, and for some women it comes at a real cost. So here's what I want you to take away from all of this. Women's health research matters. Biology matters. Hormones matter. But you deserve to know when that science is being used to help you and when it's being used to sell you something. The things that actually move the needle on fat loss have not changed. Enough protein, calorie awareness, sleep, managing stress, exercise, long-term consistency. None of those will come in a 30-day hormone reset protocol. Now, if you found this video helpful, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a like. It really helps support my channel, and you can give it a hype too. I would also love it if you subscribed because I have new videos every single week. Any questions or any big takeaway from this video, please comment down below and let me know. As always, thank you very much for watching. Stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll see you again next week. Thanks for watching.